tough one for Walter Ray Williams. Seems like it's bolted down, Bo.
You're right, Chris. And here's a shot that many people argue about. Watch the action of the 1, 3, and see the 5-pin actually chop the straight back off the 8. Many people think it goes up over the top. As that replay showed, the 5-pin was taken straight back on the solid 8 hit.
All right, Walter Ray Williams leading in our first game by 11 pins and leading in Denver going into the long freestyle skating program tonight. Debbie Thomas, former world champion and national champion, and one of the high hopes for the United States Olympic skating team that will be in Calgary along with all of us starting February 13th.
Lentine studying his own game, trails by 11 pins. Here's Walter Ray Williams, 8th frame.
Coming up high and almost crossing over, leaving the 6-10. Walter, go ahead, Bo.
Chris, Walter has opted for that inside line, and the players all week long, as you see the ball just cutting right through the middle of the pins, have played an extreme outside line. You'll see that in the last 3 players coming up. I think Walter struggled in practice. Gip Lentine had been playing outside and also moved in, so they're both struggling a little bit.
All right, 9 pins now separating these two California professionals. They sort of look the part as you conjure up a picture in your mind of what Californians look like, the guys especially, right?
Well, Gip...
Little character in the face there. He's lived a good life.
That's for sure. Gip, avid surfer, hardboard surfer, tells me now uses a 7-foot 8-inch board. Corky Carroll's one of his, who's the world champion surfer, one of his idols.
Again a 10-pin, but this time on the right lane for Gip Lentine.
Very controlled that shot that time by Gip Lentine. He's over somewhat of the anxiety of coming into a championship round. He made an excellent stroke with that ball, trusted the ball to right, just didn't get the real good break. Left the 10-pin, and once again we'll move to the left side of the lane, go between the 3rd and 4th arrows, knock this 10-pin in. He will trail Bowler of the Year, Walter Ray Williams Jr. by just 10 pins with 2 frames remaining.
Often asked, well, how much can a top professional earn on the bowling tour? Well, in 1986, Walter Ray Williams, $145,550. Last year, $143,000. And here are the 87 money winners. Pete Weber, Ballard, McCordick, Holman, and Williams with 143 was not in the top spot. They can earn some dough now.
You're right, Chris. And incentives on the telecast. For instance, last week, Mike Jasnow made $18,000 for first place. As you look at the grip of Gip Lentine, a fingertip grip on the middle finger and a semi-fingertip grip on the ring finger. And going back to Jasnow made an additional $19,000 in bonuses last week, so $37,000. It doesn't all show on the prize list.
Oh, great foundation strike for Gip Lentine. That took off a little of the pressure. Let's see that reaction again.
The last 2 frames, just excellent shots by Gip Lentine. Look at him post that shot. Comes in light. Watch those eyes. He knows he's sawing it off. Very aggressive move for the non-titleist going against 1987 Player of the Year, a tough competitor, Walter Ray, 9th frame.
All but 10 on the right lane for Walter Ray, who won 3 of his 5 titles in 1986.
Watch the action of the 6-pin right over here, Chris, as it lays down in the channel. Just slides by the 10-pin. Doesn't have quite enough angle or power. Walter Ray Williams quickly up for the spare.
Coming right down to that final frame now here in our very first game. The winner to meet, Amleto Monicelli, a hot bowler, and Mark Williams, Firestone Tournament of Champions winner last year, and then the great Mark Roth.
As we go into the 10th frame, the possibilities for Walter Ray Jr., 3 strikes would be a 200 game. Strike spare would be 190, would force Lentine to strike to tie the match. We have a good possibility of a tie in our first match.
And a 10-pin on the left.
Once again, the same type of hit from the inside line or down the middle of the lane where Walter Ray Williams is playing. The ball comes through, doesn't bite through. You see it deflect and go over almost by the 10-pin, where when the ball is really cutting through the pins properly, as you'll see in the next match with a power player coming on, it'll end up behind the 8-pin.
Walter Ray, 3 times the world junior horseshoe pitching champion and 4 times the world adult champion.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. with a strike here in the 11th frame would finish with 189 and have to just watch Gip Lentine in the 10th.
All right, it's a 189 in the first inning. Now, Lentine. Pressure, pressure.
Before we went on the air, Gip Lentine told me, he says, all I want to do is win 1 game in the championship round on the Professional Bowlers Tour. Well, what stands in front of him right now are just 10 pins that he must knock down on this ball. He's collecting his thoughts. Lentine needs a strike on this ball and 9 spare to win. Anything less than a strike, he is defeated.
Using the full approach. But the right heel is off of it. Pressing over. He'll take it. Gip Lentine, and look at that smile. It's been a long time coming, and of course, not so for Walter Ray.
Well, it sets up a situation, Chris, where the match is still in the balance. As you see, as my daddy always called it, unconscious competence. Got a great break, crossing over, tripping the 6 into the center of the lane. Now he must strike on this ball or 9 spare to win.
There's 9.
He needs to make this spare to win. If he misses a spare, we have a tie match at 189. If Gip Lentine makes this spare, he goes on to the second match.
And Bo is the last shot. The odds go up a little bit on this particular try at covering the 10.
No doubt, Chris, that Gip has had trouble with spares all day long or all week long. In fact, in between the 8-game matches in the afternoon yesterday and the 8 games last night, he went over and practiced spares. So let's see if it pays off. Needs this spare to win the match.
There it is. All right, we have a winner in our first match by 1 pin. 190 to 189, and next up, Amleto Monicelli. The Professional Bowlers Tour is brought to you by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light. And by Kellogg's Corn Flakes. What more could you want from a cereal?